Hello everyone and welcome to Our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. Thank you for joining us today. Our guest on the show is Mary Maranville. She is the CEO and founder of SeeAg, which is also known as Students for Eco Education and Agriculture. Thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thank you, Sandra, for having me.
This is a really exciting organization that you have, and I'd really like to share with our viewers a little bit more about it and what you do for so many here in Ventura County.
Oh, thank you. We teach thousands of students every year about the farm origins of their food, from field to table, and also how the crops that are growing in the area are connected to their nutritional well-being.
Okay. I know that educating kids and starting them early about the foods they eat really has a big impact on their lifespan and what they do throughout their life and choosing the foods that they eat. Learning about field to table food is really important. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, well, I grew up on a dairy farm in upstate New York, and I always wished that someone came to my school and taught me what a wonderful thing that my father was doing. And we teach the kids about the basics all the way from the seed and the soil all the way to their dinner table and everything in between. And it is important, and it does give them a new appreciation for the land, for the farmers that grow the food, for plants, and for the local, for all the local agriculture that we have in our own backyard here. Instead of just driving by these fields and not really knowing or understanding it, they can look out at it and they know, they have a more comprehensive understanding of what it is that they're looking at.
Right, and Ventura County has such an abundance of beautiful farmland here that so many people don't get to see living here outside of Ventura County. So it's such a real joy to see that, and it's such a pleasure to drive through and see all that farmland that's still in existence. So what a treat for so many kids to have that opportunity. Let's talk about some parent tools that many of our parents can use to help their kids make good choices for healthy eating habits. How about menu planning and shopping and cooking with your kids? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's so interesting that you're bringing this up. We do have a new program this year, the Journey of a Lemon nutrition program.
Great.
And we are teaching children about, we're bringing them on a healthy shopping trip, what it means to buy a variety of fruits and vegetables, especially things that they never have tried before, and choosing all the colors in the rainbow, because all of those different colors are good for different parts of our body. Red is good for our brain, blue is good for our, red is good for our brain, and blue is good for our heart, and so on, and green is good for our bones. And kids don't know this, so we're trying to make nutrition fun. And we also do, have you heard of Master Chef, Junior Master Chef?
Oh yes, it's a great show.
It's a great show, and we actually, Rihanna, who works with me, one of my colleagues, does that in the classroom. We have a Junior Master Chef competition, so they make a healthy after school snack, and they love it. They absolutely love it.
I think it's really important for kids to have that hands-on activity and learn about food that way. I think certainly cooking with your kids is a really good experience to get them involved early on so that they can realize, hey, I can make that. I can try making this with mom. I can try doing this with dad. I think these are really helpful things for their future. Also, a trip to the farmer's market. I wanted to talk about that. I know that for many people, taking the kids along really gives them a good education about what's at the farmer's market. Let's talk about that.
Well, we have so many different farmers markets in this county.
Sure.
And one of the pamphlets that we leave behind is a schedule of all the farmers markets.
Good.
And you're absolutely right about kids learn from experiences, and that our generation, we went into school and it was very presentation based, and it is proven that kids learn through activities, and the next generation science standards is all about applied sciences. So to teach them about nutrition and having them cook in the classroom, to actually bring them to a farmer's market and actually meet the farmers and see what the farmers are growing and ask the farmers questions, that leaves a longer lasting impression on them than just a teacher standing up with a book and a chalkboard.
Right.
So yes, it's absolutely necessary. And that again is why SeeAg's doing so well and why we're so popular, is we're about giving them experiences.
Right. And I think what your organization does is you go into the classroom and you do presentations, and you also do field trips too.
Right.
So let's talk about the presentation itself. When you go into a classroom of students, what are some of the things that you talk about?
We're trying to give them a foundation of what agriculture is. They don't even know what the word means. So we start from the very basics and then take them on this journey, like I said. So we start, what is agriculture? What are crops? What are the top crops growing in the area? Sometimes they'll say bananas and pineapples.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so we give them these this fundamental information about agriculture. Then we take them on a healthy shopping trip in the classroom to teach them that plants are at the beginning of the food cycle, and all of our food comes from plants. And then we give them some sustainable agricultural, examples, like solar energy is so big right now in agriculture, and also recycling our food waste into clean, renewable energy. So that's the classroom presentation. And then the second part of the program is taking them on a field trip to Petty Ranch in Saticoy.
And on those field trips, what a great experience for them to see farmland and to actually be a part of that experience of where food is actually grown and comes from. And again, field to table. So when you do a field trip, how does that work out, and how do the kids enjoy that?
Well, when
that's the big part of it.
And all of this is done free of charge.
Oh my gosh.
So when we pay for the school buses. When they get off that school bus, they are just, their energy, they're so excited. And we actually work closely with Chris Sayer. He's a 5th generation farmer. So my staff and Chris greet them. And then we have 5 different stations out at Farm Lab, which we take them around. We have a soil station, an entomology station, a plant biology station, and the Journey of a Lemon station. And then we have an introduction as well. And again, they're there in the trees, in the soil, looking for bugs, looking for the worms, looking at the plants. And they these are memories that last a lifetime.
That's a priceless experience for any child to go out and enjoy that. It's not a book, and you can't learn that in a book. That experience of being out in nature and a part of the farmland community really does make a difference and an impact on their eating habits. How good for them to enjoy such rich agriculture that we have here.
It is, and we know what an impression it's making on them because we receive thousands of letters.
That's great.
And you wonder, you're hoping that they take 1 or 2 things away from with them.
Oh, sure.
But they list all these different things that they've learned or that they enjoyed. And you read, that's the favorite part of our week or our day, is when we receive a packet of these letters. And it just brings us such joy, and we can tell that this experience has brought them a lot of joy.
Oh yeah, and I hope it would give them a good idea of changing some of their eating habits. Eat more fresh food, eat more fresh fruit, eat more things that you find to be that are going to be more healthy for you, and this gives them an opportunity to learn that.
It's proven when you bring a child to a farm and you show them, in this instance, Petty Ranch has figs and lemons and avocados. When you show them and teach them how they're grown, it gives them a new appreciation for that fruit or vegetable, and they're more willing to try it at home.
That's good.
It is good.
Which is what you want to accomplish with the program.
It is.
Absolutely. How many kids have you presented the program to so far?
Oh my goodness, over 25,000 since we
great.
first started, which was 10 years ago.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about volunteers and donors for the program to keep it going. I know that that's a very important thing to keep up what you're doing for so many kids and families out here. So let's talk a little bit about volunteers.
We are always looking for volunteers to help us with the field trips. We need adult chaperones, and that's basically just making sure that the kids are paying attention and not wandering off. And if you want to volunteer for SeeAg, you could go to SeeAg.org. And we're also always looking for volunteers for our large annual event, which is Ventura County Farm Day. And that, again, is helping us set up for the barbecue, and also on the day of Farm Day, helping us with the sign-in of attendees and guests at the 20 different locations around Ventura County.
Oh, nice. What about donors and corporate sponsors? I would imagine that's a big part of the organization too. Got to keep that money coming in to keep it going.
Yes, and thank you for bringing that up. Yes, we are a 501c3, and nonprofits depend on our very generous donors for donations, and you could go to SeeAg.org. We have a donate button, and it makes it super easy. You can just donate there, but we definitely do depend on our sponsors and our donors, and no donation is too small. It really goes to a good cause, and we keep that money local. So,
and that's important. So I think it's good to know what the program does for so many kids and families. So if a teacher wants to bring you into the classroom, how would she go about doing that?
Oh, she would contact us. Again, our website is really user friendly. We have a get connected, and they just have to push that button, and or they could email us at info@seeag.org. And it's very simple, and then we just call them back or email them back, and we get a date on the calendar, and it's free of charge, like I said, so it makes it super easy.
That's the best part, is this is such a great program for kids learning so much about food, healthy eating habits, things like that, and you can do it for free. That's not going to happen too often. And this also gives parents a chance to be involved too. To really help the kids and learn about where their food's coming from and the choices they can make, for the future.
Yes, exactly. And we have adults and parents that come on the field trip with their kids, and they leave having a new appreciation for agriculture, learning a lot, and just being so thankful that we provided this opportunity for their kids. So.
That's such a great thing that you're doing.
Thank you.
So many kids are going to benefit from this in the long term.
Thank you.
And it's programs like this that will really make a difference. So thank you so much, Mary, for joining us on the program today and telling us more about SeeAg. We've learned quite a bit about the organization. It is Students for Eco Education and Agriculture. And keep up the fine work that you're doing for so many kids and families out here in Ventura County. And I also understand you go out a little bit into LA County as well. So
we do.
We want to include those kids in there too.
Yes.
So thank you for being with us today and giving us some great food tips and nutrition tips as well.
Thank you very much for having me.
Terrific. And thank all of you for joining us today on Our Ventura TV. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, everyone.